We're back. Welcome to season 2 of HR Besties. You ready for another recurring meeting? I know we are.
Put that shit on your calendar, guys. Did you accept the invite? I did, but once again, I have a hard stop.
Oh, God. Well, yeah, make sure if you are listening to this, you have got to accept that recurring meeting invite. It is so important, right? Because we cleared all the meeting notices from last year. And so if you don't re-accept that, you are not in the meeting. Don't you hate when they do that?
Well, and also, I've heard this strategy from some people where they come back, whether it's vacation, New Year holiday, and they're like, everything in my inbox, pew, pew, pew. Delete.
Yeah, I've done that before.
I did that from maternity leave.
Well,
that makes sense.
Yes, there should have been a plan. There should not be a bundle of emails awaiting after your bundle of joy. But that's a level of power and confidence I don't think I had. I would go back and reply and make sure. And of course, everyone is like, no, this was taken care of. And I'm like, okay, got it.
Okay,
thanks.
good.
But accept this one and share it with your friends.
Please.
Like a good email, reply all and loop a lot of people in. Because we always love to have more people sitting at our table at HR Besties.
Of course.
Right?
You're always welcome here.
So like good corporate stewards, right? The postmortem. Any lessons learned from season 1?
I mean, for Jamie, me, and I don't mean to speak in third person like a weirdo, but I definitely said 100% a little too much.
What are you talking about, Jamie? I don't know what you're talking about. We haven't gotten any comments that have reiterated that.
No.
I'll say, I won't be self-aware. Instead, I'll reflect on others. It has been amazing, like the topics we talk about. And for some of the context, we have no idea the stories that the other besties are going to say. Mm-hmm. So if you listen to the first episode, and if you didn't, pause, go back and listen to the very first episode. But Jamie and I had no idea that toe sucking would be the phrase that started our podcast.
That rocked the world.
And I do a lot of work with different HR departments. And again, people tend to know who I am and have a sense of me, but I'm a little more buttoned up maybe than some of my other besties at times. And so when I would tell people I have this podcast and would have this like defensive cringe, it was amazing how many heads of HR probably had a call with IT because they wrote to me and said, love the podcast, LOL, toe sucking. So it's resonated. I've been delighted yet horrified that it's resonated.
Ashley made eye contact with me when she said, like other besties aren't as buttoned up,
Yeah, that was directed towards us for sure.
Well, you guys are state school. I was liberal.
Exactly.
I'm liberal. I'm liberal arts. I rounded out. I'm wearing a very, you can't see me, I'm wearing a very HR sweater right now.
Chunky sweater.
It's a little chilly today.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, no, the toe sucking got a lot of feedback. But, for me, what's been really interesting as a lesson learned or just a fun surprise from season 1 of HR Besties is this sense of community. So many folks have reached out. Oh, my gosh, I was an HR team of 1, but now I feel like I have an HR team that gets me around me now, right? And boy, does that feel good. Right. To think, gosh, we're there for our HR community, those HR leaders, just leaders in business, just people that are working. Right. I mean, just the content resonates with so many people. And that's been such a joy, to hear that. But origin story, we get that question a lot. Who wants to share the origin story?
I think Ashley deserves the credit because she brought the three of us together and really is the one that said, let's do a podcast.
Well, I'll try to keep it to an elevator pitch, maybe a skyscraper elevator, but I'll keep it timely.
It is a long story.
So 30,000-foot view is that I'd started posting videos on social media just about 2 years ago. So at this point, January of 2022. And I had a pretty small at the time TikTok channel, but I also posted things on LinkedIn. And one day around the summer of 2022, I saw that Leigh Henderson had liked one of my posts. And I looked, I said, I know this person. And I said, oh my God, that's HR Manifesto. So I DM'd Leigh like an obsessed fan and hey, this is actually at Manager Method. No one, only like a few hundred people knew who that was. Leigh did not. And she responded, she said, oh, you're a lawyer. I've always gotten along with lawyers as well. So we ended up doing a call. We got off the call. We ended because we had a free, whatever video Zoom subscription. So it cut us off awkwardly. We had the call and Leigh wrote and was like, fuck, oh my God, we could have talked for hours. And so we kind of talked and said it'd be fun to do a podcast. And then Jamie, I'd met online. I mean, we'd only met online, but had messaged back and forth and had commiserated about things. And, Jamie has 2 really big accounts, Humorous Resources and also Millennial Misery. Millennial Misery is a lot of nostalgia from 90s. And so I was at Great Wolf Lodge in LaGrange, Georgia with my kids last May. And there was
Sponsor us.
Yeah, yes, I will take a free water slide. They make a mean margarita, I will tell, which is helpful. But in the gift shop was like this 90s style hat. And I laughed and I texted a picture of it to Jamie. I was like, oh my God, Millennial Misery at Great Wolf Lodge. And literally in the middle of the gift shop at Great Wolf Lodge, it hit me. And I was like, oh my God, this would be so funny. And I texted Leigh. It was like, Jamie would be funny. So we ended up getting on a Zoom. We Zoomed, we started a text group, but we had never met in person before we recorded season 1. Literally, we met just a few hours before. And so we'd had a lot of texts, video calls, things like that. But we met. And so there was this question of, like, would this work out? And what do you guys think? Because I feel like it's felt like, to me, it's like legit besties.
Yeah. No, I
mean,
think it worked out.
Well, we genuinely gelled immediately. And it was like an immediate connection.
Yeah.
So.
And we're all so different. And that's what kind of complements it.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So to Ashley's point, we just met hours before we filmed. We met the night before we filmed. And then we filmed all of season 1 in one day. So you may not have realized that when you listened to season 1. I know some people did it, but we filmed it all. And so we had no idea what we would sound like. We had no idea, how that content would come across. We just like, here it is, all in one day.
Or in my case, realize you say 100%.
There you go.
Way too many fucking times.
The feedback is fantastic, but like any good performance review, it has to come with that sandwich. And so in the middle, we did hear, I think one person said, my God, this thing was painful to listen to. And we are real people, so we sense that. And we'd say that was a pretty extreme reaction to send an email to, but the vast majority has been so positive, but also with feedback. We take things in. And so we're super excited about this season, but I'm so happy to be back in person with Jamie and Leigh. And the differences we feel like make it hopefully a good podcast and that you guys are ready to binge some season 2. But before we get to season 2, do we have any of that outtakes from season 1 that might be helpful?
Let me man spread so I feel so confident.
So if you spread your legs for an interview, you'll feel very confident?
Exactly. It's always worked for me.
Yeah.
It's always worked for me, okay?
I will put my feet all over the internet if someone pays a price, though.
I know, exactly.
There ain't no shame in that.
You can pay me and I'll take them off. That's
Look at, we have an outro.
God.
Oh my God! We're episode 1. Champagne bottle.
I know.
Champagne bottle.
When we were talking about corporate words we hate, but she didn't put corporate, and I was like moist?
Exactly. Oh, just general words. Like work. Oh, Jesus. That was so loud. Wow.
That is definitely your nipple.
Like, what's it doing over there? It's because I'm wearing a sports bra. Problem.
Your nipple.
Sorry about that. I was like, oh my God, is this my nipple? It's like right here. I'm like Mike Wazowski. Oh my God.
Okay, no, because my 6-year-old has started saying D's nuts from the 10-year-old.
Moist. And just talking business and BS. Did we really do that?
We start the day with sad tears. We end the day with
did we legit just film a podcast series? What the? I'm just oh my gosh. What a dream. It's crazy. So what's on the agenda for season 2? Well, maybe we'll talk about returning to the office. Boy, is that controversial or what? We may talk about how hard job postings suck. We're going to talk about the importance of onboarding in that first 90 days. NDAs, gosh, that's all over the internet, isn't it? Everyone wants to use an NDA as an out for answering interview questions, which are the funniest videos. Maybe we'll talk about toxic bosses and leadership exemptions and weaponizing gossip in the workplace. My God, there's so much to talk about in season 2, and we hope you enjoy it. Make sure you accept that meeting notice.